Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today we're going to be moving on with Dude, you need to check this out week by checking out things that I need to check out. Today we're going to be looking at some Steven Wilson. We got Lawrence Flyerman suggests Home Invasion Regret number 9. Mago Elder requests Raven That Refused to Sing. Mr. B suggested The Black Dog. Zikmi suggested Index, Jonathan Henderson also suggested The Raven That Refused to Sing, and Mike Mendoza suggested Luminal. And this almost turned into another Enslaved, thanks to Jonathan for tipping the scales a little bit into The Raven That Refused to Sing's favor. It's the only one that got 2, but I still hate being put in this position. All of these songs are probably fantastic. Steven Wilson is highly recommended from many people, and it's just, picking one song out of 10 that are probably all great songs. Everybody wants to check out something different. Maybe they want to show me a different side of Steven. Kind of sucks having to select one, but that's where we are today. We're going to check out this Raven That Never Sings. Is that an inverted chord structure?
Sing for me. Sing for me. You can come with me. You can live with me. Heal my soul. Make me whole. Sister, I lost you when you were still a child, but I lead you now, and I lead out from a light. I'm afraid to wait. I'm afraid to love. Just because I'm weak, you can steal my dreams. You can reach inside.
This song has a never-ending layer of tension because we don't ever really see any real resolution in the chords or in the melody line.
Please come to me. Please stay with me. Please.
We had resolution for a bit there, and it's just returned to the same rocky chord progression. It's kind of crazy how note order can change the entire feel of a section. Alright, I think we're done. Alright, so there is some. Okay. First, I want to talk about the unusual chord structure, which is the first thing that struck me, and it was pervasive throughout the entire track. It pretty much colored the atmosphere for 90% of the song. And I'm pretty sure it's in an inverted chord structure, where you basically write a chord structure and then you reverse it. And so your tension comes earlier, and you don't really have a strong resolution because your leading tone isn't there going into the final note of your chord progression. So what you end up with is something that lacks, it has strong tension but lacks direction. And that's what I'm feeling is going on here. It's definitely a very tense atmosphere. There's a lot of spookiness to it or unsettlingness to the song, but it isn't done in a way where the tension ever gets a chance to resolve. It's just constant. And there are moments of relief from this. And I want to say that the majority of the more positive sections, that chord progression is the same notes, just reordered. I don't think there's new notes in those. I think it's more of a reflection of the turmoil chord progression that colors most of the song. And I think it's really cool that you can create two very different feelings from basically the same notes. It's just the order of them completely changes the color and tone of what's happening in the music. Um, and really, that to me is the core of what's going on here. It's the most interesting part of the song, is the ways that the chords, the notes are chosen, the way that they're ordered, and the way that that can change the atmosphere of the section of the song. Now, that obviously isn't the only thing going on. There's some beautiful harmonies. There's a fantastic build up. And the cool thing is, in the build up at the very end, we see both of these chord lines, note lines. I think one is chords and one is notes. Because the more positive aspect is just single notes. But I don't remember. I think the rocky one was chords, or maybe at least I don't even remember anymore. That's how bad my memory is. But it's just it wasn't what I was focusing on primarily. I was focusing more on relationships rather than notes themselves. Um, but yeah, so at the end we can hear both of these lining up together, and I'm pretty sure they start on the same note. I think it's just where they jump to, the distances that they jump to completely change the color. When you hear them together, there is this bittersweet melancholy. It's there's positivity to it, but there's still sadness, and I think that's kind of the point, given the animation that went along with it. Um, and it kind of has like grief and sadness and acceptance and moving on are all kind of two sides of the same coin, that kind of thing. And I think it's really cool that they used a reflective model for the core chord progression that goes on, because reflection is kind of what the whole two sides of the coin metaphor relates to, is that they're both the same thing. It just depends on how you view it. And all of that kind of ties in nicely. There's a really nice build up at the end I was talking about, where we get a lot of instruments coming in, lots of layers that are all nicely done. But I don't know if it's because there was so much going on at the end or just because there was not a lot going on at the beginning. The song doesn't stick with me. And I'm going to attribute some of that with the music video. I was watching some of it at times, and I've said before the reason why I typically don't do music videos is because when I have a visual element to latch onto, it tends to be what my brain thinks about and how the visual elements are lining up with the atmosphere of the song, maybe with the lyrics of the song. I'm not necessarily focusing on the instrumentation of the song. I'm looking at it as a multimedia art form, which it's fine. I mean, it's definitely a way to analyze this track, and the animation seems very closely tied to it. So I'd say that the song is probably designed to be listened to with the music video, and they're designed to be analyzed together. But that's just not what we typically do here, so I kind of try not to do that. I'm trying to focus more on the music. So, like I said, that could have just been a part of it, was that I was paying attention to the visuals at some points. But it's a good song. It's an interesting concept piece. with the whole reflective theme, and it seems to be very, not it seems to be, it is an emotional song. It's obviously about possibly something personal to Mr. Steven Wilson, or if not, he's created a very well thought out, very fleshed out character that he's empathizing really well with to create the song for. But on a first listen, it just didn't hit me. I don't know, it's Doom without the Doom feel. It's slow, it's repetitious, it uses the same underlying musical concept throughout the entire song. It fits every checkmark for Doom, it's just missing the Doom sound. And I don't know, it didn't land with me right now. I think that would change on future listens. Maybe uh, future Bryan might enjoy it more, not necessarily because of more listens, but because of how I've changed as a person in the future. But right now, it's a good song. I enjoy what it is. I enjoy the concept behind it. It just doesn't land for me. Even though I enjoy a lot of the core parts, they just didn't add up to an enjoyable experience. But I'm not writing off Mr. Steven Wilson. Like I said, coming into this, he's seems to be a very varied person, a rather varied songwriter and performer, and I'm sure everything that was suggested to me was different. He's been a part of different bands, different styles, different genres. Like I said, I'm not writing him off. This song just didn't land for me. This is where you guys come in, though. Hit me up. Let me know possibly what I missed. Maybe if you agree with me, you guys can let me know about that stuff. Also, in the description above the comment section, there's some links for blocked videos if you want to check out what YouTube does not want you to see. Or if you'd like to join the Patreon, you can join in with the Discord server and vote on the future content of the channel. All of that's possible by joining the Patreon. Tomorrow I'll be back at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC as usual, with the next episode for this week's theme of, dude, you gotta check this out. Until then, you guys stay safe, stay awesome, and keep having a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.